Joining us from London, senior international correspondent for Bloomberg Business Week magazine and Bloomberg News, Cam Simpson. He's the co-writer of this week's cover story that details how the United States managed to underestimate ISIS oil revenue by $400 million and why that money may just be a drop in the bucket for the terror group's finances. MSNBC contributor Mike Barnicle joins the table as well. Cam, what kind of money, if that's a drop in the bucket, are we talking about?
I mean, we're talking about vast amounts of revenue, Mika, unfortunately. I mean, when you control this much territory with that many people, 8 to 10 million people, you can squeeze every part of life and economic life across that territory for taxes, for extortion, for seizing property. I mean, these guys have divisions at every level called a spoils division, and their only job is plunder. And they take equipment, they take property, they figure out what the best need for it is for the organization. They take a truck. Do we need a truck bomb? They take a truck, maybe they're going to sell it, maybe they're going to smuggle it across the border, maybe they're going to get cash for it. I mean, literally every facet of life you can imagine, like the mafia, they're squeezing for extortion and taxes, probably to an amount at least equal to their oil revenues, if not greater than their oil revenues. And that's just a small piece of what they have. You know, when they rolled through Iraq last year, the U.S. government estimate is that they got 90 bank branches containing $500 million to $1 billion in cash, just right off the bat, before they had to even lift a finger to sell any oil or get any oil out of the ground. So it's an extraordinary problem. I think politically, when it's easy to say we're going to fight a financial war against the Islamic State, we're going to choke off their money. It's just, you can't do that when they control so much territory, and all their income comes from the territory that they control.
Cam, who are the accessories, the accomplices in getting this oil out of Syria, out of Iraq, and into the world? Who are the accessories, the accomplices to ISIS?
Well, Mike, I think that's one of the great misnomers. They're not getting it out of Syria and Iraq. I mean, it's not just the lifeblood of the Islamic State, it's the lifeblood of the people who live there, and it always has been in these regions. I mean, they make their money at the pump, right? There are maybe 10 oil fields that they control in Syria and Iraq. Dozens of extraction points, if not hundreds of extraction points. Sometimes it's a hose pipe buried in the ground. Sometimes there are lines miles long for tanker trucks to fill up, but it's the local people who they pay for the gas, they pay, sorry, for the crude oil, and then it's refined elsewhere. Islamic State is done, they get paid at the pump and then they're out. I mean, you even have reports of commanders of rebel groups that are fighting Islamic State buy their oil from Islamic State. I mean, everybody in this territory needs that oil to run generators for electricity, to run water pumps so they can have drinking water. I mean, for asphalt, for roads, I mean, everything you can think of.
Cam, it's Willie Geist. So the question then now is, how do they pull this off? How are they running an international oil company effectively out in the open as they're theoretically under attack from the United States, from the West, from the Iraqi army, from rebel groups? How are they doing it so easily?
I mean, again, it's just you can't really stop them from earning income on territory that they control until you retake the territory. And I don't think anybody has the political will for that. You know, it seems like a financial war, when we can talk about being tough in a financial war, is a war that doesn't put any lives at risk, any American lives. The reality is you can't win that war. It's just, it's not possible. I think we can reduce, you know, their revenue stream from oil alone down further than where it is, although we dramatically miscalculated, as Mika said in the opening, the damage that we did to their oil infrastructure a year ago, and we dramatically underestimated the amount of money that they were making for it. We said that we had bombed their oil revenue down to $100 million a year, and then we found out from some intelligence that we seized in a kill raid against their oil emir in eastern Syria that they were actually making $500 million a year from oil. $400 million is not a rounding error. I mean, that's hugely significant. So
the new issue Business Week is out now. Cam Simpson, thank you very, very much.